Learn how to design a sleek and responsive feature section using the grid system in Webflow in today's tutorial. We start by selecting a section in Webflow to serve as the foundation for our feature section. Now we will add a container inside the section to keep our content structured and responsive. Now I will add a heading to give a title to the page, making it clear and visually appealing. And from the heading settings, I will choose heading 2 to ensure consistency and a clean design. I will set the heading as Features for Every Need to clearly communicate the purpose of this section. Here, I am also assigning the section to a class called Section to maintain consistent styling throughout the page. Now, from the Elements panel, I will add a div block inside the container to structure the content within the section. Now, I will select the div block, and from the Style section, I will choose the grid feature to organize the content efficiently. This is what it looks like after applying the grid feature to the div block. As you can see, we now have a structured layout with 2 rows and 2 columns. Here, I'm adjusting the grid layout in the Style panel to have 3 columns and 2 rows for better content organization. Now, from the Element panel, I will add a heading inside one of the grid cells to label the content. From the Element panel, I will add a paragraph in another grid cell to provide supporting text or details. From the Element panel, I will also add an image to enhance the visual appeal of the section. Now you can see that the image section has been automatically adjusted to the next available cell in the grid. Now, we will add a div block inside the grid and move all other elements, including the image, heading, and paragraph, inside the div to keep the layout structured and organized. As you can see, all elements are now stacked below each other. I held the Control key and dragged each element inside the div block for better organization. Here I am selecting an image, and from the Styling section, I will assign a class to it as Featured Image to apply consistent styling across similar elements. We will also select the entire div block and assign it a class named Cards from the Styling section to maintain a consistent design. Now we will go to the settings in the Styling panel and replace the image. From the Assets panel, we will select our desired picture and place it in the Image section. As you can see, this is how one of our grids looks. It contains an image, a heading that introduces the feature, and a paragraph that provides detailed information about the feature. Now that we've created the perfect card, we will copy and paste all the cards into different grids and make the necessary changes to the image, heading, and paragraph later to customize each one. As you can see, we now have 6 perfect grids with cards, and we can easily edit everything from the Navigator panel, where all the elements are clearly listed. Now, we will select the entire grid section and make the necessary changes from the Styling panel to customize the layout and appearance. From the Gap feature, we will set the gap to 32 px to ensure consistent spacing between the grid items. Now we can make changes to the headings and paragraphs and add whatever we want to name each feature, customizing the content as needed. For instance, I'm adding AI Assistant and Get Started. I'm setting the heading to H3 and assigning a class to it. I will also make changes to the headers of each grid individually to match the desired style and content. After selecting all the headers and applying the H3 class, all the headers across the grid will adopt the same styling. The benefit of applying a class is that you can make uniform changes to all elements that fall under that specific class, ensuring consistency throughout. Now, we will change the images across all the grids according to the feature names, ensuring each grid has the appropriate image for its respective feature. As you can see, we've changed all the images and also made some updates to the main heading. You can now name your features as desired and describe them in detail using the paragraph element. In the Navigator panel, you can see all the elements of your web page properly listed in a hierarchical order. This makes it easy to access and edit them as needed.